All right, good morning, folks. It's Melissa here. So, awesome class last night. Awesome business class. We had somebody come in from the library and show us more resources to do our market research. So, just an amazing class, amazing stuff yesterday. I talked to a score mentor. We're meeting on a weekly basis, and just I highly recommend SCORE, highly. You can have people walk you through the whole thing with your business. So really good stuff. So what is going on with Mr. Kevin Leandro? So he comes on here when I talk about exercising my right to continue court stuff, right? I have that right. So he doesn't like it. So he comes on here and he harasses me because he doesn't like that I'm going to exercise my right. So yesterday I did send out papers to the Laconia District Court again. I sent out papers to the New Hampshire Supreme Court and, of course, a copy for my husband, my ex-husband, okay? He's still my husband in God's eyes. So anyways, Scripture is really clear that man is not to put asunder, before God what God has joined. God joined my husband and I. And we are one before God. So anybody, including a court, who puts divorce certificate between us, it's not okay. It's not acceptable. So, this is where it's like, do you obey God or do you obey man? Man really doesn't have a right to divorce. Really doesn't. Especially over nothing compared to what God says. So although, yeah, civilly, they have done this, and my husband legally is divorced. Before God, he is still married to me. So I hope he's not trying to go find another woman and give everything to someone else, because that ain't going to happen. I'm sure he has property now, etc. So I am going after what is mine. What my husband did was he tried to leave me with nothing. So I am going to challenge this. And it's not about even the money, it's the principle of what he did. So when you involve someone like Kevin Leandro, you're asking for trouble, right? You just are. I mean, first of all, if someone has an issue with you, Scripture says you go to that person. You go to them and you're like, hey, you offended me with this or that. And marriage is supposed to have a lot of communication. That's one of the biggest things that you want in a marriage, and to be spirit-filled. Now, if he can't quite meet up the standard with being spirit-filled, that is truly his problem. And that is where he needs God even more, because many times he has felt, because I'm walking in the spirit, he cannot keep up with me. I communicate when I do this channel, I'm walking in the spirit. He doesn't like it. So he's tried to, control that and divorce me. So, he really has come up against Christ. He really has. So then we have Kevin Leandro, who is just a bad testimony in general to many things. So yesterday I had posted a video about Kevin Leandro fighting with the Guilford Fire Department. And Kevin's like, you obviously can't comprehend what you read. First of all, I didn't read it, so that's a false accusation right there. AI told me about it. So then I'm like, oh, well, why don't I read it, right? So I read the articles, and Kevin Leandro splurged on a lot of money against John O'Brien, because he accused John O'Brien of not just taking a picture of his house, which I guess he did, because they got in a heated debate and John O'Brien said he was kidding about taking a picture of his house, not illegal at all. But then he accused the man of coming on his property, and his supposed wife saw him. His wife is just as bad as he is when it comes to accusations. So I did post those articles on my channel. You can look at those articles for yourself. And Kevin Leandro said, he's being an Elon Musk, and he doged, the fire department. Elon Musk, I said, you're not being an Elon Musk. Elon Musk doged a lot of waste in the government, and there is a place for it. I mean, there is a lot of waste right now. But that's not the fire department. That's not, a department where, the people who work there would know best more than Kevin. Even though Kevin has experience with a diesel engine, so do other people. So this engine was, not repairable according to them. The pump wasn't working. It needed a lot of work, and they did not have backup. They said they did not have backup. So it can be a matter of perspective. It really can, where people differ on finances and say, this is what I want to do. I want to make sure we have a new fire engine, and I want to make sure everything is in the best shape so that we can do our work, even better to help the community. Where other people may be like, well, you really don't need it. You really don't, you may want it, but you don't need it. Therefore, we can save money. But the truth is, I don't really think it was, Kevin Leandro's place to not be giving the fire department an emergency meeting, or the town an emergency meeting. I never said that there was a lawsuit. Kevin had put words in my mouth that, in the last video. So, it really is important that we do support the fire department. And if you're going to have two different perspectives on the finances, I would say it is more important to lean in toward other people's wisdom. If the fire department has said they needed a fire truck and they have that proof, why would you not listen to them? I think it became political because Kevin was running, so that seems like the motive behind most of this. Um, Also, if the fire department is saying they need something, and then Kevin Leandro is going to, the town with, a lawsuit about someone taking a picture of his house, and they had to spend money on that whole thing, that whole people's time with, like, talking about that whole thing, when it's not even illegal. Kevin is actually spending and wasting people's time doing that. So, I mean, you could go back and forth. Like, you have people who talk about frugality, right? So I have